So Walker Street Doctors update for Friday, the 21st of October. And the purpose, as always, of these updates is to address questions that I'm asked repeatedly by my savvy patients during the week. So this one is really about the relaxing of protections, the hybrid vaccine, and also the Lagevrio. So government has removed the mandate for isolating and reporting positive tests last week, but really nothing else has changed. COVID is alive and well, and we at Walker Street Doctors continue to have an obligation to keep patients and staff safety and wellbeing front of mind. When we designed our waiting room 10 years ago, the intention then was to limit the amount of time that patients sit around waiting for doctors, and as a consequence to limit the likelihood of transmissible illness being passed from patient to patient on our watch. It seems ludicrous to us now that doctors would ever have made patients wait for extended periods of time in a waiting room, the person with the flu sitting next to the person on chemotherapy next to the 92-year-old. Doesn't make any sense, of course. We continue to have telehealth as the preferred initial consultation. We pay attention to ventilating and flushing the consulting rooms. We have CO2 monitors in use, alarmed to pandemic settings in the waiting room and in every consulting room. We screen patients for respiratory symptoms. We require masks to be worn in common areas in consulting rooms. And we have vaccine mandates for staff and practice policies, directing staff not to attend the practice when they're unwell. In other COVID news, we've got the Moderna hybrid vaccine, Spikevax bivalent, in stock now. It's a combination 50-50 of the ancestral and the BA1 strains. And although the predominant strain circulating at the present is BA5, this booster provides what's called epitope broadening, similar to the flu vaccine concept, that is stimulating an immune response to a variety of Omicron strains to cover whichever variant might happen to cause the next wave. ATAGI has approved this vaccine as a booster. There's no guidance at this stage beyond the 4th dose or the second booster. And ATAGI will likely recommend a 5th dose in response to the next wave, which has already started in Europe, of course. That's been the pattern in the past, at least. The Pfizer hybrid vaccine, which is the ancestral BA5 variant, is still actually in the starting the TGA approval stage. Just a note about the antivirals. Please do continue to contact us when you get COVID to discuss Paxlovid treatment for all patients over 70 and at-risk patients over 50 and at-risk Indigenous patients over 30. Although Lagevrio has received a bad rap recently in the press, it is the antiviral that we use when we can't use Paxlovid because of drug interactions or renal failure. And although the Panorama study showed no difference in hospitalisations or deaths, there was a definite difference in the time to recovery of 4.2 days, or essentially a full working week. So definitely worth the effort if Paxlovid is not appropriate. Lastly, we continue to hear about the unreliability of rats to detect Omicron and the need for multiple sequential tests before a positive one comes up. The easy NAT is on the horizon, which is almost as good as a lab PCR test in that some amplification of viral RNA occurs. It takes longer than a rat and is more expensive than a rat, but more reliable, and may find a place in the testing domain. And I hope that update has been helpful.